executives were baffled until someone finally pointed out to them that Nova translates as doesn't go in Spanish. The embarrassed automobile giant changed the model name to the Caravan, and sales of the car took off. Okay, and guys, I know that usually I just read straight through and I don't start talking in the middle, but when it says about that it can be, this tale can be found in books about marketing, that actually is very true. Even in Canada, where I am from, I have, in my first year of the business administration program, that actually was one of the things that we discussed was the Chevrolet Nova Spanish translation thing. We actually spent quite a good little chunk of class actually talking about that. So that was just kind of a fun fact because it just kind of surprised me because I hadn't read through this in advance. So now I'll continue back on the article. This anecdote is frequently used to illustrate the perils of failing to do adequate preparation and research before introducing a product into the international marketplace. It's a wicked irony, then, that the people who use this sample are engaging in the very thing they're decrying, because a little preparation and research would have informed them that it isn't true. The sources that repeat this tale can't even agree on where the Nova supposedly sold poorly, variously listing locales such as Puerto Rico, Mexico, South America, or simply Spanish-speaking countries. This is another one of those tales that makes its point so well. Just like the apocryphal about George Washington and the cherry tree. Nobody wants to ruin it with a bunch of facts. Nonetheless, we're here to ruin it. The original Chevrolet Nova, initially the Chevy 2, hit the U.S. market in 1962. This car should not be confused with the smaller front-wheel drive vehicle, which was produced in 1985 as a joint venture between General Motors and Toyota, also assigned the Nova name. Between 1972 and 1978, the Chevrolet Nova was also sold in Mexico and several other Spanish-speaking countries, primarily Venezuela. Shortly afterwards, the Great Nova legend arose, a legend which a little linguistic analysis showed First of all, the phrase Nova literally doesn't go in the word Nova are distinct entities with different pronunciations in Spanish. The former is two words and is pronounced with an accent on the second word. The latter is one word with the accent on the first syllable. Assuming that Spanish speakers would naturally see the word Nova as equivalent to the phrase no and think, hey, this car doesn't go, is akin to assuming that English speakers would spurn a dinette set sold under the name Notable because nobody wants a dinette set that doesn't include a table. Although Nova can literally be translated as no-go, it would be a curious locution for a speaker of Spanish to use in reference to a car, just as an English speaker would describe a broken down car by saying it doesn't run rather than it doesn't go. A Spanish speaker would refer to a malfunctioning automobile by saying no marcha or no funciona or no camina rather than Nova. Pemex, the Mexican government owned oil monopoly, sold and still sells gasoline in Mexico under the name Nova. If Mexicans were going to associate anything with the Chevrolet Nova based on its name, it would probably be this gasoline. In any case, if Mexicans had no compunctions about filling their tanks of their cars with a type of gasoline whose name advertised that it didn't go, why would they reject a similarly named automobile? This legend assumes that a handful of General Motors executives launched a car into a foreign market and remained in blissful ignorance about a possible at first translation of its name. Even if nobody in Detroit knew enough rudimentary Spanish to notice the coincidence, the Nova could not have been brought to market in Mexico and or South America without the involvement of numerous Spanish speakers engaged to translate user manuals, prepare advertising and promotional materials, communicate with the network of Chevrolet dealers in the target countries, etc. In fact, GM was aware of the translation and opted to retain the model name Nova in Spanish-speaking markets anyway, because they correctly felt the matter to be unimportant. The truth is that the Chevrolet Nova's name didn't significantly affect its sales. It sold well in both its primary Spanish-speaking markets, Mexico and Venezuela. Its Venezuelan sales figures actually surpassed GM's expectations. The whole Nova equals doesn't go tale was merely another in a long line of automotive jokes like the ones about Ford being an acronym for Fix or Repair Daily, or Found on Road Dead, or Fiat being an acronym for Fix It Again, Tony. These humorous inventions might adequately reflect the teller's feelings about the worthiness of various types of automobiles, but we don't expect that anyone ever refrained from buying a Ford because he actually believed they needed to be repaired on a daily basis. The one bit of supporting evidence offered to back up this legend is spurious as well. General Motors, we're told, finally wised up and changed the model name of their automobile from Nova to Carabay, after which sales of the car took off. One small problem with this claim: the Carabay, sold in Mexico, was manufactured by Volkswagen, not General Motors. The Carabay was the model name used by VW in Mexico for the car more commonly known in the USA as the Golf. The Nova's model name was never changed for the Spanish-speaking market. The Chevy Nova legend lives on in countless marketing textbooks, is repeated in numerous business seminars, and is a staple of newspaper and magazine columnists who need a pithy example of human folly. Perhaps someday this apocryphal tale will become what it should be, an illustration of how easily even experts can sometimes fall victim to the very same dangers they warn us about. And this legend was last updated on March 19, 2011. And although in this video I was going to read hope you guys enjoyed